Hi, welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Lily Newman, the host, and my co-host Susan Solomon will be with us again for our next show. My guests today are Lisa Sciavillo, Annmarie Di Pietro, and Phyllis Troilo, and they're the Angel Moms. And I want to welcome you to the show. But all three of you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So, Angel Moms, could you tell us how you got involved and what is Angel Moms?
Angel Moms is a group of women who met and formed a bond over the loss of their children. I lost my two daughters, and I contacted another mom who my daughter was friends with her son, and we got together for the holidays. We got together, we go out to dinner. We are just really a group of moms who really want everybody to understand what it's like, what you go through on a daily basis. You're not alone. We've all been there. We all feel it. You could have a good day. You could have a good minute, and it's gone the next, you know. We're not therapists, social workers, doctors. We just offer friendship, socialization, and a place to feel at home, comfortable.
Thank you.
I think that's basically what it is.
And Lisa, how did you get involved? How long? Lisa?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I know some of the mothers that had started the group, so they had reached out to me when my son Michael passed away.
Want to hold up his picture?
This is Michael here. So he died in December of 2016. He was just 3 weeks short of his 22nd birthday. So one of the moms reached out to me and invited me to come for coffee, and I met some of the girls, and then Phyllis and Annmarie weren't there at that point. We got to know each other later. It's just, we just have such a bond, and we're there for each other, and we support each other. If you need somebody to talk to, you always have someone. The experience of losing a child is, there's just no way to describe the pain that you feel on a daily basis.
Thank you. Beautiful boy. You want to show us your girls?
Sure. Alyssa.
It's okay. Sorry. It's all right. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. I appreciate you coming on. How could you not? How could you not? You know, thank you for coming on and sharing your stories with us and with people who are watching, because probably many people are sitting home and have lost their children.
Alyssa, she was 18, and Tana was 13. They were just great kids.
I'm sorry.
Really, really great kids. And they're my driving force, them and my daughter who's still living.
Thank you.
Oh, my baby. Thanks to this lovely lady here. For 2 years I was in a coma, so I didn't get off the couch if I didn't really have to, which was just about every day. I guess that's more appropriate. My son's name is Johnny, and he actually went to preschool with Lisa's son, Michael. He was friends with Annamarie's daughter. So Annmarie got me after 2 years for a balloon ceremony for our kids, and that's how I connected instantly with these women. If it wasn't for them, I'd still be on my couch. The pain is indescribable. It's there every day. Even if we're laughing, we're crying inside. It's just that to talk to a mother that has lost their child, and it's a conversation you can never have with anybody else that hasn't. They're strong, I can't even describe the strength that they give me every day. Even though I don't talk to them every day, it doesn't even matter, just knowing they had to get out of bed today too. You know, she lost 2 babies. And I always said, we Facebook each other, you know, before she brought me into this group. I'm like, Annmarie, how do you get out of bed? Like, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you do it? I just couldn't imagine, and I still can't.
See, for me, not to interrupt you, but it's
Interrupt me, please.
for me, it's we don't want any mom on the couch. That's what our group is about. We want you being able to get up and come out and face the world. Not easy by any means. That's what our support system is about. But I will not let their death be in vain. If for me to sit on the couch is to let the person who took them away win, and I refuse to let that happen. Absolutely refuse. And I would tell you that. I refuse to let that person win.
She's like, then he wins. I'm like, oh my God, like I never even thought of it that way.
I won't do it. And believe me, there's days I don't want to get up, I don't want to face the world, but I think about every one of the women I have met through this group, and I think, I could do it. We can do it together.
It's an amazing group.
It really is an amazing group.
You know what I'm thinking, listening? First, I don't know what this feels like, and I cannot pretend to say I know because I have no clue. I'm so sorry for your losses, all of your losses. But this group seems so different than grief groups. So could you tell us how it differs? It just feels different. And I'm not negating those, but this just feels different, this group.
For me, I've went to some, monthly groups that they're not run by a professional, and they're a support group that's for parents who've lost children. But you go and everybody tells their story over and over again, and then you go home and you go back the next month. And for me, that just didn't help me.
Okay.
To have the bond with these other women that totally know the pain that I feel constantly just really feels quite a void in my heart. It also makes me realize that I'm not crazy, because sometimes you feel like you're crazy.
Why?
Because you feel like you can't go on, but you have to. So to know that other people feel the same way helps a lot.
Can I do that?
Yes, thank you.
It's more of a family than a group of parents that lost their children, and you hear the same things over, and it's depressing. It's not something that, for me, would get me out of bed. Let me go to a bereavement group, and I'm not knocking it, but for me, I couldn't do it. It was more depressing, and I dreaded going.
So it seems like this is also social.
We go to
do
dinner.
things you say.
They have fundraisers for their children. It's more, we try to make it fun. We go out to lunch. Went down the Bronx once to the market. Then we had lunch together. It's just
that's socialization.
It's socialization.
With other
it's
people
not
know
always
what you
talking
went
about
through.
the loss of our kids, which we do, but in a totally different setting.
You know what I think makes it different is that when you're out socially with other people, of course the conversation always shifts to people talking about their children. And if you meet people that haven't met, new people that you haven't met before, and then they'll say, well, do you have any children? So you have that question, like, how do you answer that question? I mean, I'll always have 2 children. But then it's like, oh, well, what are they doing? And it just keeps going, and the anxiety and the emotion that's involved in all of it, it makes you want to withdraw and not go out and be around people, because you always have that anxiety of how am I going to handle the situation. And I do go to a bereavement group every week that's ran by a professional. It's just, there's 6 moms, and I have to say that it's a good group, and we work on all the things that we go through on a daily basis. We talk about different topics. We don't go every week and just reshare our stories. And so it's been very helpful, but I also, value this group that I also have as well, because I don't go out socially with the people that I know from the other group. And it's nice to have that friendship, and we can just get together and talk. We can text each other if we're having a bad day. We're always supporting each other, and like Phyllis said, we have different things that we do to try to keep our kids' names. You know, we don't want people to forget our children because we always
fear.
remember. Yeah. You know, when people say, "I don't want to say anything because I don't want to upset you. I don't want to make you think about it."
You're already upset.
You're always thinking about it,
Right.
and you want people to think about them.
That's right.
So.
And talk.
And I
about
know,
them.
because Phyllis, we're friends. We've known each other off and on, 20 years or so. And there was a time when I would just text you, just to let you know I was thinking about you. And that you just, and I understood that.
And I didn't
just
answer
couldn't
her for
reach out.
2 years. I couldn't even and I remember one of your texts said, "Please let me help you with this, get through this." Or I was like, I couldn't even imagine how you could help me. And you have, tremendously. So thank you.
My pleasure. We're friends.
Thank you.
So you're doing a fundraiser? This who?
Lisa.
Both you? Lisa.
On Sunday, we're having a pasta dinner in Portchester. It's to support the Portchester basketball
Sunday
booster.
when? Where?
This coming Sunday at the Knights of Columbus in Portchester from 4 to 9, and it's to benefit the Portchester basketball booster. It's in memory of my son, Michael, and also Louis Lareza. He's another boy from Portchester who passed away.
Recently, right? Last
It'll be
year?
a year
Right.
coming up next month. So, you know, our families, we know each other, and both of our boys loved basketball. They both played basketball at Portchester High School, and so it's called Friends of Michael Sciavillo and Louis Lareza, and it's in their honor to raise money for these.
So how do people get, what camera? How do people get in touch with you? Could you get in touch if they want tickets? What are the details?
Well,
what are the details?
They could reach out to me on Facebook. There's other people that are handling it, but if they contact me on Facebook, then I can, you know, give them the information. I know it's you have to reserve ahead of time. There's a limited amount of seats left. We've had quite a you know, response for it, which has been really great.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, they get in touch with you how?
My name, Lisa Sciavillo, at Facebook. They can find me. So
Thank you.
okay.
Now, we're doing a fundraiser blood drive. Is this different? Same
Yes.
group?
It's the same group.
Same group.
When?
Same group in June.
June 6th.
That's Sherry's.
Oh, okay, so we can wait.
We
Do
can wait on
do
that.
you have any information?
We do. No, but I have information for our first get-together,
Okay.
April 17th in...
You can hold the paper up.
Okay. April 17th, 6:30 p.m., Rybrook Senior Center, 32 Garibaldi Place, Rybrook, New York.
Okay.
Refreshments will be served. All are welcome. Dads too.
What time?
6:30.
Okay, 6:30 at Rybrook.
Senior Center.
Okay. And how do can people get in touch with Angel Moms? Would it be on your Facebook,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It'll be on
Web
Facebook.
page.
It's on it will be on our webpage.
Okay.
On our Facebook page.
Okay.
All you have to do is look up Angel Moms. It's the one with the halo. Beautiful picture in the background.
Angel, right? Wings or something
Angel
with the
Moms.
halo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
No wings.
And we, you know, anything that they need, they could just reach out to us on our Facebook page.
Okay. All right. And what is the charge for your dinner and for your?
The pasta dinner is $20 a person, and then there's going to be like a Chinese raffle. We have a lot of raffle baskets that will be raffled off during the evening. And it's at the Knights of Columbus in Portchester on Westchester Avenue on Sunday.
Thank you.
No charge. Just
And
come, share a story,
And it's
bring a picture.
Angel Moms or
Yep.
dads too are welcome.
Yes.
It's dads also. So
Yeah, we
anyone who's
figured let's
lost a
bring the
child,
dad. And the poor
gotta bring the
dads are
dads.
always out of the pit, you know, and
'Cause
they
they're
have nowhere to go
suffering also.
or
you know,
who
it's
to
a big
talk
loss.
to. So it's their loss too. So we figured we'd involve the dads.
So when do you meet? Do you have a meeting place? What?
Trying to get 10 women to meet. Doesn't always
Not
work out
easy.
so well.
Go on a text message.
We usually throw out a few dates.
Okay.
And we, you know, meet for dinner.
Okay, so it's not like one place that you meet. Not
No.
yet.
That's
or,
what we're hoping to do with
This.
in this venue.
Okay.
For us socially, we try to put out a few dates and get together whenever
and
we can.
places, right.
So do you have a lot of responses? I mean, Especially with the opiate epidemic out there, people are losing kids and loved ones.
It's,
What do you think?
it's hard to reach out to someone who's not ready yet.
Yeah.
It took 2 years, both
But
of us.
I am I'm looking through the paper, writing down names, and just put it out there. You know, when you're ready, here's our group name,
Got it.
and
So let
without
people know
being
they're
so
not
intrusive,
alone.
because
Right.
that first year you don't really know what's going on.
No idea.
But honestly, the second year is the worst because you know what's going on.
Right. The fog
I
has
did not
lifted
know
almost.
that. I was in shock. I was like, I thought the second year would get a little easier. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown.
The first year you're numb.
Yeah.
You're going through the motion.
Right.
Yeah.
The second year you realize, wow, this is their second birthday, they're not here.
They're not
This is
here.
the second Christmas, they're not here. You just
I can't even. I'm sorry if I say that. I just can't imagine how you. But I understand that if you stop, then the person wins, and that you refuse.
And
to
for
let
me,
happen.
it's very personal.
Yeah.
So I absolutely refuse to let him win.
Okay.
I will not do it.
Amen.
It's not me.
Did you think you'd have this strength in you? Question for all three of you.
I didn't. I thought I was gonna die right after him. I prayed to die right after him. And I have other kids. And people actually say, "Oh, well, at least you have other kids." Really? At least I have other kids?
Those
I
are
mean, people say the
narrow-minded
stupidest
people.
things.
They don't
yeah.
know.
I
They just
know
don't
they don't
know.
know, but sometimes
I
it
know.
doesn't.
It's amazing. You know, people say the craziest things, and I think it's because they don't know what to say.
Right.
So they feel like they have to say something, and usually it's the wrong thing. And, you know, I think back before I experienced this personally and how maybe I was prior to knowing this pain. So sometimes I take a step back and say, you know, I have to look at it a different way. But it's hard sometimes, and one of the worst things is when they say they're in a better place. That's the one that probably would send me right over the edge, because they were all too young to die. And I lost my son to the opioid epidemic, and he was fighting hard. He was doing very well, and then he wasn't. So when you have policemen show up at your house and knock on your door to tell you that your son is dead. You know, when he was in Florida, so he was, you know, in treatment down there, doing very well. So he wasn't even here. So it was like, it just was, you know, devastating. But with this epidemic, it also, when you have a child who is struggling with this, you know, it's a constant struggle and a constant worry, because it's so hard for them. But Michael was an athlete. He was the life of the party. He had quite a personality. Could probably do any impressions of anyone. He was so funny and full of life and loved to be with people and very smart and loving. And he helped a lot of people down in Florida when he was in Florida. You know, he made a lot of friends that were going through the same thing, and he stepped up and he helped people when they were having problems, struggling, and made sure that they got to the people that they needed to get help, to get better, to go back into treatment. So, you know, he just was pretty amazing.
Just that I'm at a loss. You know, what do you just?
This opioid epidemic, I mean, it's out of control. It really is an epidemic. My son also overdosed after doing well in treatment, and they actually went to preschool together, which still blows my mind that we're connected that far.
Yeah, we hadn't seen each other in
I know.
like 20 years.
And it just, so he was sober for like a year and I don't know, a few months. So And he always said, "Ma, I don't have another out. You know, I don't have another out. If I go out, I'm dead." And when you're sober and those drugs aren't in you anymore, and you go back after a certain amount of time without them in your body, you OD. And there was fentanyl also, we found out, in the heroin. So I call it murder. You know, whoever made that mixture is murder.
What would you tell parents who are sitting home and are struggling? What would you say to them?
Struggling as far as the epidemic, or as
No,
far
just
as
struggling
child
about
loss?
losing a child.
Kid.
Get on Facebook and look us up.
Okay.
And your kids would not want you to be on the couch struggling. Like, I know my son would kick me in my butt and say, "Get up," and do the work that I was, was doing. Finish it for me.
And what would you tell people who mean well? What's the one thing that you want to hear from them or you don't want to hear from them?
I think it's really important to stay in contact with people. It's just like you were saying, that you would send her a text. Just to hear someone say, "Hey, I'm thinking of you, how you doing?" Those things meant the world to me. And, you know, I'm in my second year now, and it's harder because you are numb the first year, and all the firsts are over with, and life goes on, and people move on, and that's the way it is, but you don't ever move on, and you know, you're always kind of stuck. So it's important, I think, to not isolate yourself, or you will stay stuck, and that's not a good place to be.
Now you said you have other children.
I have a son who's 28. His name's Danny.
How's he doing?
He lives at home and he works. So.
Because we had a young girl named Melissa Gilbert who started a sibling to sibling because she lost her brother, who was a little older or younger. He was to suicide, and she couldn't find a group for someone who's lost a sibling, so she started it on her own. So I can get you her phone number if you think that your children, is that something they'd want to, go and see and meet other people. Because it's different, it's different than the other groups, grief groups, bereavement groups. It's sibling for siblings. And
I have another daughter, Samantha. She's 25, and she's an amazing kid.
how's she doing, okay?
Yeah, she is. It's really hard to process what happened. It's the betrayal, the anger. I mean, her sisters, especially the little one, was Samantha's pride and joy. She was like a mom to Deanna, and in some, she was left without anything. Her first card to me after this all happened was, "It's just me and you, Mom."
Oh, I got the same thing.
It's all right.
I have 2 other kids and 2 stepkids. My daughter's 30. She'll be 31 this month. She found my son on the couch, OD'd. And I have a 15-year-old boy who adored his brother. And his brother adored him.
And I think it's those they leave behind. And no disrespect, I wish our kids, the families, knew, especially in your cases where they've overdosed, they don't realize the pain that's left behind. I mean, and I know this disease and don't do it on purpose, but I just wish more people could hear your story and talk and get out there and share it, because there's such a void left and a void left.
Well, in my case, it was an extremely selfish, sick act that took my daughters away.
If you want to share that,
I know.
But
They
that's
were
okay.
they were murdered by their father, who then killed himself. And my 3 dogs, our 3 dogs were murdered too. And just trying to, why? You want to do that to yourself, do it to yourself.
Right.
Why take my beautiful, innocent daughters with you? But he was a coward. He was scared to go by himself. And he felt, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And, you know, in some ways in the beginning I thought, you know what, maybe it would have been better if he just took all 5 of us. And then I thought, well, the only thing, what if it was me and the four of us and Sam was left alone? Like,
Right.
so Sam and I were left here for a reason, and we're gonna make them proud, and we're gonna persevere, and we're not gonna let them win.
I'm so sorry. All 3 of you and everyone else out there who's suffering. I know this wasn't easy, but I really, really thank you for coming on and telling your story. And I know that you have other women. No dads yet. We got to work on the dads.
I'm working on that.
We got to work on the dads. We got to work on the dads. That you know, more people come and join your group and be a part of, so no one suffers in silence and no one suffers alone with this.
That's our goal. That's our goal.
That they shouldn't suffer in silence, and no one's alone.
People out there.
No one has to be alone.
Because you do feel like you're alone in the beginning. It's just like an out-of-body experience. You know, it's your new
It's like
norm.
a nightmare.
You said that earlier. It's your new norm.
It's your new norm.
Yeah.
Your new norm.
It's a club that we never asked to join. It's just, that's it. It's our new norm. And you kind of freeze up when people start talking about your kids. And I always say they're spending the day with my dad because he's in heaven with them.
Got it.
And people are like, oh, that's nice, you know. And I'm like, it's just my way of being
That's
able
right.
to say I don't have to go into detail.
That's right.
Wow.
That's where they
That's
are,
right.
you know.
That's right.
I'm with Sam today. They're with my dad.
That's right. That's right. And you have the right to say that. That's a great way
She
of
does.
putting it.
You do.
You do have a right.
Yes.
It is a great way of putting it.
It really is.
It's just awful that you have to come up with
I know.
a line, you know, something to respond. That's the anxiety that I was talking about, because one of the women in my bereavement group, she has corporate luncheons, and there's people in her business, they don't even know that her son died. So she has anxiety every time she has to go to a business luncheon, because it always comes
It
up
always comes up. It's just a matter of
about your
conversation.
kids, and
Right.
you know, so
But you just remember them. And you know what? I just can't thank you enough for coming on and talking to us and sharing your story with us. And I hope everyone goes to Angel Moms on Facebook and reads and joins. And Sunday at Knights of Columbus in Port Chester. And June, 4 o'clock, and June,
April 17th.
April 17th,
Rybrook Senior Center.
Rybrook Senior
Yes.
Center.